Welcome back. Welcome back, episode 2, the Greto Project. We made it officially past one episode. So, small clap. Big thank you to everyone who listened to the first episode. Got a lot more listens and downloads than I expected. So, very grateful for the following and the support. Yeah, hell of an app for episode 2. Little more structured. We got some more topics laid out for you, and we got our first segment at the end of the show. So we're gonna start off with a little weekly recap how the week went. And then going to go over some topics that have been a reoccurring theme just through my social media and general feedback. So, going to talk about why you need to prioritize yourself over your friends and family. How to get over a breakup. That's been a big one on my live. So, I'm going to give you guys a little rundown, my perspective on that, since I have a recent experience with it. Then some randomness, some shit that's come up that I want to talk about that I think is kind of funny. And then my new segment at the end, we call it Hot Take Roulette. Real excited for that one. That's going to be fun. But before we jump into that, this podcast is brought to you by Fair Game. It's a golf app built for real golfers. Whether you're tracking your rounds, connecting with friends, or running a tournament, Fair Game makes it easy. No spreadsheets, no headaches, just clean, simple way to play and compete. And if you love golf, you need to check it out. Download Fair Game for free and start playing your way. Secondly, of course, this is brought to you by Good Roots. You know, Good Roots, my baby. It is the best botanical-based natural pre-workout on the market. No jitters, no bullshit, no artificial flavors, no artificial coloring, no additives, just real natural energy, real natural focus, and a real natural pump. You can get that at shopgoodroot.com or all over my socials. It's the fucking best. It's awesome. Now, let's get into it. So a little weekly recap so far. This is going to be coming out on Friday. So this is a Thursday. So I guess it's more of like a week and a half recap. I was sick for a little while. I'm a huge pussy when I'm sick. Like if I have a sniffle, I'm out. Not going into the office. I'm not working. I'm out of commission. I just got to heal up. I got to take care of myself. I hear that's a reoccurring theme for men, is men are huge bitches when they get sick. It is what it is. I don't get sick often, but when I do, I'm out. But I actually was super. I think it's COVID again, because my symptoms were like kind of similar. I mean, they weren't as bad because I have antibodies, not vaxxed, obviously. I have, like, the first time I had COVID, I was fucked up. It was the most sick I've ever been. I was sick for a full 2 weeks. I was like fine for 3 days, and then I got like a little bit better, and then like the second wave hit, and it fucked me up. I had like a horrible cough. I was so inflamed. I was like coughing up a little bit of blood. But whatever, that was years ago. And this was like similar in a sense where I was sick for a few days. I thought it was like nothing. I was kind of fine. And then I started getting better. And then like round 2 kicked in. It got worse. And then had like a really bad cough, like a very similar dry cough to the one I had. I even went to urgent care and they didn't even test me. So I think, and everyone right now is sick. Half my friends are sick. People in the office are sick. Everywhere I go, I'm playing pool, people are sick. So I think it's just going around. People aren't testing. It's just like the new flu. It is what it is. You know, if only the world didn't shut down for 3 years because of it. Anyway, that's kind of what's been going on with me. Got my group coaching coming out very shortly. Hopefully we'll put a bow on that. But yeah, that's kind of what's up with me lately. Big Catan win the other night. It's not a big deal. Like, it was just a very good strategic win. So, like, don't blow up the comments about it. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I just win, you know? But yeah, so I went on a little rant about this in my live last night about priorities. Someone asked me, what do you prioritize in life? Like, what's the most important thing to you? And, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, family comes first and his friends and his job, whatever it may be. And my take is, like, that's my number one priority. Like, I have to come first. It's me, then it's family, then it's friends, then it's career. Or I guess career can kind of maybe tied with one of those. But anyway, my point being is people are like, no, it's selfish to put yourself first. But in order for me or you to be, the most loving and giving person to your family and be as supportive as you can to your family and your friends, and actually, be the best person in your career and set yourself up for success, you have to put yourself first. Because if you start letting yourself go and then you're not who you are physically, or you're not who you are mentally or emotionally, that's going to do more harm to what you think you want to prioritize than if you're actually going to put them first. So like it's really not a bad thing to truly have to take care of yourself. And like there's a lot of people that are in relationships and it's like, I have to put the other person first. Like that's just who I am as a man. It's my job to put the other person first. But at the same time, it's like, listen, not every relationship is guaranteed. And if you're putting that other person first, you're sacrificing a part of who you are for something that's not guaranteed. And you're at the same time, you're taking away your full potential of what you can actually provide for that other person by putting them first. So there's nothing really selfish about prioritizing yourself. If anything, it's you can have a selfless perspective on it. I mean, that's mine at least. I mean, I think in order for you to be the best person you can for the people around you, that's doing them a favor. That's putting them first. And I kind of just look at like the other people in my life, if they had to sacrifice time spent with me to make themselves better, to prioritize themselves, like that's a plus in my life. Like I look at that as someone that I want to surround myself with. So by them almost sacrificing the time they have to spend with me to make themselves better is an inspiration to me. That's them being a good friend to me. Now, of course, that could be taken as a more unique perspective, but it's mine. I know some people do truly thrive and get a lot of energy off of doing things for other people, and that's kind of a way of life. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do things for other people and make sacrifices, but kind of the way I've lived my life and what I have to prioritize, I know who I am as a person. In order for me to be the best person for everyone around me, I have to be the truest, most authentic, disciplined version of myself. Otherwise I'm leaving them short. So I just thought that was really interesting, because it's not selfish. It's not. No. Getting on to a juicier topic, which is how to get over a breakup. This one's been a recurring theme as well. And also, shout out to everyone that responded to my Instagram story asking a lot of questions around what topics we want to talk about. Thank you for that. I'm going to keep posting those probably like bi-weekly. There's a shit ton that I haven't gotten to yet, of course, because I had like 100 replies. So thank you for all of those inquiries. But this one's been very recurring. I was actually talking about this in a live this week as well. How to get over a breakup. Now, have some recent experience. It's been about a year since your boys break up. Everyone's situation is different, obviously. But if it was a strong emotional relationship, it has to be no contact. Like that, I cannot imagine a situation where a relationship, or after a relationship ends, where there's contact between the two and it works out for the best. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, the only way to look at it is you had this relationship with this person, and for the rest of your life, you are now strangers that share similar memories. That's it. And it's tough. Like no contact. I think in the short term is the harder option, of course, because like you don't have that comfortability of having that other person in your life, and the reality sets in where it's like, okay, like this part of my life is truly over. I'm never going to talk to this person again. Panic mode, spiral mode, like that. That's all. That's normal. All of that stuff is going to happen regardless of whether or not you go no contact or not. The only difference is when you truly go no contact, you're going to get over it faster because your mind is going to kind of let go of a lot of the things that happened. If you're constantly checking the Instagram or checking the Facebook or trying to keep tabs on them, all you're doing is refueling that part of your brain that's going to start making fake scenarios about what's going on. And you're just going to stress yourself and freak yourself out. And the more you do that, like you simply will not be able to move on. If you're keeping tabs on someone and your thought process and your mind is consumed on what is that other person doing, as opposed to how can I move forward, you're fucked. Like you're fucking fucked. So I went no contact, and it's yeah, it sucks at first, but it's the only way to do it, and it truly does work. You know, and a big part of no contact is kind of having that silence within yourself where, you know, you can have, there's really like two routes you can go. I was actually talking with a buddy of mine who recently went through a breakup as well. It's like you can look back on a past relationship and you can recognize the flaws and you can recognize the mistakes and the failures and the bumps in the road. And there's a huge difference between recognizing that and having a more kind of introspective view on it and actually like identifying what went wrong and learning from it. So a lot of people will look back and like they'll see what they did and they truly won't implement any sort of like lifestyle change or internal change. And they think just because they recognize it, they're growing from it, but it's not the case at all. Because for you to truly grow from something, it does take time. Like you do have to kind of sit with yourself and again identify what went wrong, kind of why you made certain decisions you made, or what made the other person, or what led that other person to make certain decisions that impacted your relationship, whatever it may be from both sides. It does take some time to kind of grow from a situation. And if you're too focused on what the other person is doing, you're not going to allow yourself the time to have that, you know, internal conversation and just truly learn from what went wrong and kind of understand what you want to make happen moving forward. You know, because like every mistake or every failure or shitty conversation, every argument, whatever it is, you know, that's just like a little chip of pain that at the end of the day is truly sculpting who you are in the future. But you kind of have to let those chips come and go and kind of look where your sculpture needs some enhancements. Because that's all you have. Like those chips and pains, they're going to come regardless. You know, like there's nothing you can do to control that. The past is the past. The past is no longer your concern. But it's only no longer your concern once you learn from it and grow from it. You know, because all you can really control is the present. So if you're not going no contact and you're just trying to think about what this other person's doing, and that's you just trying to think and control the past. Like that's it. That's impossible. It's impossible. It's gone. You can't control the past. Only thing you can control is the present, which can have an influence on the future. So, how to get over a breakup? No contact. Take some time to truly learn from yourself. It's like what I say in fitness all the time on all of my socials. I say this to all my clients. You have to be a student when it comes to physical fitness. You have to be a student of your own body. You have to learn, what mistakes you've made in the gym, what exercises work for you, what don't, what certain routines and programs fit with your schedule. It takes some time and trial and error to truly learn what's best for you in the gym, and that does translate to a certain extent outside of life. You got to truly learn from the situation, take the time to see what went wrong, why you made certain decisions, and what you want to do with your life in the future, and kind of what kind of person you want to be in the next relationship. And that's the beauty of it. That's what makes relationships great, right? So, yeah, no contact. That's it. If you don't do that, shit out of luck. Shit out of luck. Okay. Got another ad read before we get into the next couple topics here. This one, it's from Cushy. So if you've ever dealt with chafing on your inner thighs, underarms, nipples, you know how brutal it can be, especially on long runs, lifts, sweaty hikes, or whatever your daily movement is. Most anti-chafe products are packed with synthetic waxes and mystery fragrances, but not Cushy. They're an active skincare company, and they just launched the world's first organic anti-chafe stick built for lifters, runners, and everyday movers who actually care about what they put on their bodies. Clean, plant-based, and it actually works. Check it out at livecushy.co. Yeah, right up my fucking alley with this one. Smells awesome. Like, I want to just fucking take a bite out of it, honestly. Coconut oil, beeswax, jojoba oil, cocoa butter, eucalyptus oil. Yeah, I mean, that's about as clean as you can get. So, yeah, check them out. Cushy. Seems like it's awesome. So, next. So, this is something that came up in the group chat the other day. This is like my randomness portion of the show, where you're just going to get a little view into the inside of my brain, which oftentimes, if you look under a microscope, you'll see that little meme or the GIF of the monkey clapping the two cymbals. So bear with me here. We were talking, and this seemed to be I did not think I was going to talk about it on a podcast, but it seemed to be a massive discussion and a clean 50-50 split down the middle of shoes off on a plane or not. Now, my entire life, I've never flown on a plane without taking my shoes off. And there were a handful that were like right there with me. Like, yeah, obviously you're sitting on a plane, you're going to take your shoes off, you're going to get comfortable. It is what it is. And then the other half were freaking out, saying it was repulsive, it was disgusting, it was selfish. Like, you got your dogs barking, you can't be stinking up the plane. And then you had a small portion that were in the middle that said it varies dependent on the length of the flight. Now, I truly thought the whole world was on the same page here. Yeah, just don't be a fucking pig and have stinky feet all the time. And then you can take your shoes off wherever you want. Do you not shower before the airport? Are you getting out of bed and because you're too fucking lazy to take a shower, so you got stinky feet? That's why you can't take your shoes off? That's not my problem. I'm clean. I got good hygiene. A little shot of apple cider vinegar in the morning. Clear out, balance your hormones, man. But yeah, and if I'm being real with you, even if my feet smell, I'm still taking my shoes off, which they have. I've had stinky feet on the plane, like after a work trip, and I'm just running around all day, and then I go to the airport and they're barking, But it is what it is. I mean, people are disgusting on planes anyway. I mean, I feel like half the planes I'm on, it just smells like shit anyway. Because if you're a little too far back, you're right next to the bathroom. If you're a little too far forward, probably next to someone who's just farting up a storm anyway. So, whatever. I will say, but you gotta have socks on. the no socks, when like people are like sitting on their feet with no socks, like I'll say something to you. You'll get a piece of my mind if that happens. Except for those, I mean, some of you sick freaks love when that person sits next to you. Yeah, just it was interesting how 50-50 split it was. Kind of like how half the world wipes standing up. That's crazy to me. I a little bit of lost respect for those people, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, a little other piece of randomness. I was in CVS the other day, and I just like, yeah, I feel like CVS is just by default is like kind of embarrassing. Like you're always buying shit that like you don't want to be seen buying, you know? Like you're in there, you're buying family pack of toilet paper. Everyone's like, wow, this guy just shits all the time. Whatever. I eat a lot of food. Yeah, I don't know, like razors, fucking chafe cream. Shout out Cushy. Don't go to CVS for chafe cream. But like whatever it is, it's just like it's something that like you don't want to be seen buying. And it just like it shouldn't be embarrassing, but like it kind of feels embarrassing. Like tying your shoes in public. Like it's a bitch move, man. It's a bitch move, tie your shoes in public. Well, you couldn't tie them tight enough when you walked out the house? You got to bend down, like you're just so vulnerable. Like you're dropping the soap into the streets of New York. Be careful. What else is embarrassing that shouldn't be embarrassing? Putting away cash at a cash register. I know like no one pays with cash anymore, but I do sometimes. Because I just went to the casino, won a little cash. It's not a big deal. I play craps now. I don't play blackjack anymore with you children. I play a man's game, which is craps, which I'll actually get to in a second. Yeah, like you ever pay with cash at a cash register, and then like there's like 10 people behind you, and they get you still have your bags here, but then you have to kind of reshuffle the cash so it's in the proper numerical order from like high to low, and then you got to fold it up, put it back in your wallet. Like that takes some time, but like the next person can't check out until you're done, and then you're rushing, and you end up just like shoving it all in there. Yeah, it's stressful, man. It's stressful. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But yeah, so we were at the casino the other day. My first time playing craps. What a fucking game. What an unbelievable game. I'm never playing blackjack ever again. The fact that other casino games even exist is beyond me. Truly. My whole life, I've always liked to gamble. It's fun. Responsibly. Was always a blackjack guy. Maybe like a little roulette here and there. I'm totally out on roulette now. And I was just, craps was always intriguing, but I never knew how to play. You look at it and it just seems so intimidating. And like it kind of is if you don't know what you're doing. But once you understand it, which takes about 10 minutes of watching someone play, one, it's extremely, extremely easy to follow. It's not complicated at all. And the energy you get is phenomenal. Because how it works is it's a full table. So anyone who's on the table, if there's a spot, is placing bets. And for the most part, everyone wins at the same time, and then everyone loses at the same time. So if you roll an S word, a 7, you're not supposed to say that word. Clears the table, everyone loses their bets, but you can place bets on different numbers. And as those numbers are rolled, you and the rest of the table will be winning on the numbers that you place bets on until an S word is rolled, and then it's cleared. So like we had this one girl. It was funny. The two of the guys that we were with, they took a little break from the table, and we were already hot. The table was fucking scorching hot. We were on a heater, and they take a step away for like 45 minutes. This one girl rolls for 45 minutes straight without rolling an S word. It was a crazy tear. All the boys went up big. So much fun. So next time you're at a casino or you're planning on going to a casino, look up how to play craps. Play some online, moneyless casinos just to learn how to play. It is the most fun you'll have in a casino. Just the energy, the camaraderie. I might have to make a little day trip soon if I keep talking about it. firing me up, man. But yeah, I love it. I love craps. I don't have a problem. I promise. I do want to get into. Okay, so once this blows up, right? And then I'm getting into live streaming and all that shit, which I want to get into as well. I'm gonna get into the online casino because like how that stuff works is like when you see these streamers that are gambling through the online casinos, it's all sponsored. Like you'll see them put up like 20 grand per blackjack hand, and they're playing 7 hands of blackjack. Like they have deals with all these online casinos where like they're not losing any of this money, and they probably keep like 1% of the winnings. So if someone goes up, you know, 200 grand, they're not making 200 grand. They're probably making like a few thousand. It's just like all marketing for these online casinos. It's like, hey, you could just gamble a shit ton of money. You don't keep the losses. We'll give you like a super small percentage of the winnings. And it just, you know, you're blasting this out to the internet and, you know, the hundreds of thousands of people that watch you. So smart move by the online casinos. But a lot of those big creators that play, it's not real money that they're playing with. But that's not to say a lot of them are. Like there are a lot of them that they're smaller creators that don't have those kind of big deals. They may have like smaller deals where it's like an online casino be like, hey, I'll give you, you know, for this stream, you'll have $5,000 of credit. What you do with it, you do with it, you know? So if like you lose it and then you go down, like you have to pay that. Or if you win, you go up, you can keep that. So there are smaller deals. But the point I'm trying to make, my content would be sick doing that. It would be so much fun. So, yeah, we're going to get into maybe that online live stream casino world once this takes off. I got to do one step at a time here. I don't want to bite off more than I could chew. I still got to get group coaching launched. I got to get this off the ground and finished up, and, you know, day by day. So, yeah, that actually should have been the weekly recap too, because, you know, that was like right as I was getting sick, and then I like felt I was getting better, and I was like, oh, I'm good to go to the casino, and then like the next day, didn't drink or anything. I was sober, because I like wanted my immune system to not be shot. But, you know, what are you gonna do? I saw that guy Luigi. They're trying to give him the death sentence. I don't know how I feel about the death sentence. I kind of go back and forth. I mean, listen, I'm not. There's so many people that are pro Luigi because he killed the United Healthcare CEO. I know it was like fucked what the CEO did. They had like the most claim denials or whatever it is, but. Listen, we live in a very corrupt world, and if you have to kill everyone who's corrupt, you're murdering half the population. That's just what it is. I don't think that the United CEO. I don't think he deserved to die. I don't think it was right. I think if he brings justice, it is up. If you want to bring him justice, it's up to. You know, our government and our system to take care of that, although that system is a bit flawed, which is why people feel the need to take it into their own hands. But, yeah, man, I mean, look at insurance. You got big pharma. Like, it's you have the FDA. There's corruption everywhere. And you can't, at the end of the day, like, it is a business. I don't necessarily think it's his fault for wanting to make money and optimize his business. I think you have more of a right to get mad at your government for not offering free health care before you blame the insurance companies that provide your coverage. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it is a business. And like, yes, while it is fucked in many avenues, I don't think you can start killing people for it. But, yeah, it's a controversial topic. I don't know the solution though, because like you need to have a competitive healthcare system. Like in theory, it would be amazing if all of the top doctors just became doctors out of the goodness of their heart and didn't do it for money, but that's not the case. Every industry thrives off of competition, and capitalism thrives off of competition. That's kind of the heart and soul of it. So if you kind of take that aspect away of it and you just ask, some of the smartest people in the world to go $500,000 to $1 million in debt and go through 15 plus years of brutal education and sacrifice just a huge chunk of their youth to become a doctor, like they need to be fucking compensated. That's why we have the best doctors in the world, is because the reward is so extraordinary. So if you need brain surgery, you don't fly to fucking Canada for it. You come to the US. Like, that's just what it is. And that's, for all you people that are anti-capitalism, that's a problem. Well, that's the reason why Western medicine is what it is today. So it's tricky, but I don't know the solution. I don't know. I was just talking about whether it's okay to take your shoes off on a plane or not. So I'm not going to have the solution for healthcare in America. So, anywho, all right, let's get to my first segment of the show. I call it Hot Take Roulette. I kind of just thought about this randomly last night. So this is where I'm going to call just a random person on my phone, and I'm going to ask them for their hottest take. Now, I was thinking maybe in the future, as I fine-tune this, I will come up with like a very controversial question to ask them, which now that I think about it, that's probably like the better route because I'm going to be putting them on the spot. But yeah, I just want their hottest take, and we'll talk about it. And then if not, I'll just ask them kind of a tough question. So let's see. I have someone in mind. Let's hope he picks up. I hope this audio isn't fucked for you guys. Oh no. James.
How we doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Just munching on a turkey sandwich here.
That's gains, bro. I love it. You're on the Grotto Project, episode 2. Just giving you a ring for my new segment. You got a minute?
Are we live?
We're live.
Let's go. How we doing, everyone? Thanks for having me.
I love it. So I call this Hot Take Roulette, where every week I'm going to call someone random or someone different and ask them what their hottest take is. And we're going to talk about it.
Hottest take in general?
In general. It could be sports. It could be politics.
I mean, like the market only goes up. I mean, I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think it's a relevant take. We're down today. We're hurting. People are licking their wounds. But now's the time to double down.
Is there a reason the market in particular is on your mind?
I mean,
are you
tariffs? They're all in the news.
Did you lose? Did you lose on something today?
I did, but again, it's just in the short term. But
so hot take is every time the market goes down, buy.
Yes, that's a hot take. ALDX. I'm not a financial advisor, but that is a stock that got its tits lit today, and I'm just hurting for the people that got hurt. But it's okay because it's only going to go up from here. So
it's only going to go up. Let's see. ALDX. Give me 1 second here. All right.
Well, I got you. Another hot take is I don't think you need to separate when you're doing a wash, I don't think you need to separate colors and whites. I think that's an urban legend.
That is a hot take. That's a hot take. I disagree with you to an extent. If you do a warm or hot wash, you do have to separate. But from what I've seen on the internet, which I still kind of don't believe, is that if you wash it cold, you can do whites with colors. So you might.
I mean, I've been doing it since I've been washing, and my shit's hanging in there so far.
Yeah, but that's why your shit's not crispy.
Have you given a hot take on this segment yet?
Yeah, I kind of just spoke about healthcare in America and the CEO and Luigi. I went on a little. I feel like I had some hot takes there.
Yeah.
But
here's a hot take. It kind of in line with fitness. I think the most powerful drug out there for mental health, I think, is exercise. I think that's a hot take. I think if you look at a lot of people that aren't healthy or aren't happy, I would say they maybe don't exercise as much.
100%. I mean, there's a lot of new science coming out, or not even new, that shows a direct correlation between physical activity and mental health. I mean, like one of the biggest problems today is, if you go to the doctor and you have signs of anxiety or depression or whatever it may be, and you're very out of shape, you have a poor diet, you're not physically fit, the first thing that they're going to do is going to prescribe you some sort of medication that there's a good chance you'll be on for the rest of your life. Where instead, say, okay, let's get this person in shape. Let's see how a proper diet, proper nutrients, proper exercise, let's see how that impacts their mental health first before we just get them on a pill that they'll be on for the next 50 years. So that I completely agree. And the root of it, of like all of whatever, it could be pent up aggression, anxiety, the stresses of work, like all of that can be relieved through physical activity.
I also, while we're on the topic, I also saw a couple studies that have come out recently around correlation between sleep deprivation and Alzheimer's, and that when you don't get a lot of sleep, it shrinks your brain in parts of your brain where Alzheimer's is found. And I thought that was super interesting because, like, right, when you don't have a lot of sleep, you're like drowsy, you might not be functioning at 100%, but it's like, hey, what's the long-term effect of that? And if you think about it, like, the brain gets tired, and I don't know too much about Alzheimer's, but like, clearly the brain's tired and it's not working like it should be. And I just saw that, and there's a couple studies behind that recently. I know Elon tweeted about it the last couple of days as well, so I just thought that was fascinating and something to think about.
The long...
Should I rip that one more episode, or should I go to bed? Now I'm like, well, fuck, maybe I should just go to bed.
Yeah, dude. There was I'll have to pin it here in the comments. I forget the name of the podcast, but there was this like sleep expert that was on Rogan a few years ago. He's got a ton of books, and it scared the shit out of me. I mean, like the long term effects and the chances of you getting Alzheimer's or dementia if you consistently get 6 hours of sleep versus 7 hours of sleep. I don't remember the exact number, so I don't want to. I'm not going to say it, but it was like remarkable. And then you take that down from like down to 5 hours, down to 4 hours. I mean, it almost made it seem like if you are sleep deprived day in and day out, like you are fucked. And it's pretty scary. And I think that's why like so many people are into all of like the sleep optimizations. I mean, I was wearing Whoop for a while. Like you have Whoop, the Oura Ring, Garmin, all this stuff to actually provide some numbers around, why people are truly tired all the time. But it's so much deeper than just feeling tired. It's like you said, there are long-term repercussions that people just don't take into account. They think like sleep just equates energy or tiredness, but it's your overall health, and it's much deeper than that.
Yeah, and I mean, you think of like the brain, almost in sports terminology, quarterbacking the rest of your body, right?
Totally.
And it's like you can lift weights, you could do squats, you could do cardio. You're focusing on here, you're focusing on there. It's like, hey, what exercises can you do to get your brain firing? It's like, hey man, sometimes it's easy as just a good night's sleep, and right, like
Yeah, there are times where I'll like, if I'm not sleeping well, or like it takes me a while to fall asleep, like I'll show up to the office late. I'm like, fuck it, I rather like show up an hour late with 7 hours and then be tossing and turning, get up early off of 5, because like I'll be more productive an hour late off 7 hours than I would be off a full day and 7 cups of coffee off 5 hours.
Absolutely, and even if you start with the attitude, like if you come in with a half tank of gas, right, like you're just trying to survive, but if you can go pedal to the metal, you just bring a different energy, and it all goes back to sleep. So I know that's been something top of mind for me. Listen, appreciate the call. I got to get back to my day job. I got to call in 5 minutes. Hopefully these people buy my shit. They probably won't. But it's been an honor, and I would love to become a reoccurring guest. And thank you for phoning me in here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I called you, and I'm getting cut off here, so I don't know if it'll be reoccurring. We'll see.
Oh, damn.
No,
Right.
I was just playing. I love the conversation. I appreciate the answer. You were the first call, so we'll have you back.
I love it. All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, bro. See ya. That was James on the current status of the markets today. He is not a financial advisor, no financial background, but he says buy. Every time the stock market goes down, buy it. So take that as you will. But he made some great points there. I mean, I recommend. Okay, actually, let me look this up so I can give you the recommendation of this podcast. It truly changed my life, and it is scary. Like, there are a lot of scary statistics that will change your perspective on what the power of sleep can do. So this guy's got like a very basic name. Yeah, Matt Walker. He's got a couple books out. This is the on Joe Rogan's podcast. It was one from 2018, episode 1109. Changed my life. It truly, I mean, the impact sleep has on just your overall performance, and in particular, Alzheimer's and dementia, and long-term health relative to cancer, everything. It is insane. And it's also the craziest part. It's like 1 hour of sleep a night, a half hour of sleep a night truly makes a difference. So check that one out. What I'll probably do, because it's a very interesting topic, I'll do a refresher on his book and get some more of those studies hands-on and have some more of the data in front of me, and we can do a deeper dive on that in a future episode, because it is really interesting and I do like talking about it. So we'll get back to that. And then what else was he talking about? Yeah. Listen, if you're mentally not where you want to be, exercise is medicine. Truly. It is the most, and the best part, it is more addictive than any other fucking hardcore drug out there, and it's the best thing you can be addicted to. If you're having any sort of doubt, mental health issues, I'm not saying that like I know exactly how you're feeling, but what I can tell you is before you try and trick your brain and confuse your brain and fuck around with the chemical imbalances by pumping drugs in there, get on an exercise regimen and try that first. Just try that first. But anywho, that about wraps it up here, episode 2. So how I'm going to close every episode, I'm going to do it with do it on a positive note with a beautiful quote from the Stoics. So I will do, which one did I write down? I don't know how to pronounce pronunciation. Let's see. Let's see how this is. Epictetus. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. So there's a quote from Epictetus. We're going to end every episode as we send you into the weekend with a quote from the Stoics. This one's from Epictetus. We're going to send you out on a positive note, some affirmations with something to think about that'll make you better moving forward. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can only anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. It's very powerful. I'm going to read it one more time. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can only anger you when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. It's you versus you. Today, tomorrow, through the weekend, next week, month, a year, it's always you versus you. Anyone who has that negative energy around you that is bringing you down, that brings you anger, that just means you're letting them have control over you. And the only person that has control over you is yourself and your own mind. So just remember that moving forward. Next time you're aggravated or agitated or you have some anger or animosity towards someone, none of that matters. You're letting them win. Because their perspective, their ideas, their rationale for whatever it is that's causing you this anger or negative emotion has nothing to do with you. That's their fucking problem. It's you versus you. It always has been. You control the present, which is going to impact the future. And yeah, have a great fucking weekend, guys. Thanks for listening. Episode 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know feedback, questions, comments, concerns, but absolutely fucking dominate the weekend and next week. And I will see you next time.